Welcome back to The Big Show. It's Alex Belfield talking to my favourite people and old friends as well. William Roache, how are you?
I'm very well. How are you?
I'm really good, and it's lovely to see you again, especially this year more than ever. I mean, you are Mr. Coronation Street. You've got this new book out telling your life story, and, well, Coro was a big part of it.
Well, yeah, not many people have done something for 50 years, and it's more about really a chronology of Ken and his storylines from day one in 1960 than me fleshing out the behind the scenes of what happened. My book that I put out a couple of years ago was more about me and my spiritual journey. This is more about me and Coronation Street and Ken, really. 50 years of Ken, yeah.
Are you still enjoying it as much as you did 50 years ago when you started?
I can honestly say, thanks, more. I'm enjoying it more now than I can ever remember. I mean, I'm a great one for the here and now anyway, but actually this 50th anniversary is bringing back all those memories. They're going to show episode 1. We're talking about the past. The book was raking it all over. So I'm sort of reliving the past, and yet in a very exciting present. I think we all know about the tram crash that's going to happen. We're right in the middle of that. And we're working night shifts now. I work from 7 at night till 5 in the morning at the moment. And it's all very exciting. It's going to be brilliant. It's going to be really good stuff.
What gets you out of bed in the morning? Is it entertaining the punters still being part of this? Because financially you could now retire. What makes you want to keep turning up every day and working these night shifts?
Well, I'm glad you think that financially I could retire. We're relatively comfortably off. But I love the street and I love acting. And there are moments when you hit a line absolutely right and it's a really good feel. When my son Linus, he lives in America and he's been in Law and Order in America for 2 years. When he came over and did the scenes, he couldn't believe the speed at which we worked. You literally called on set, you do a rough... just make sure you got the words, they put the cameras and the boom on, you have a run, and then you go for it. All that takes about 10 minutes. You can be in and out in 20 minutes with a big scene. And we were with this scene with Linus because we rehearsed it at home. And he couldn't believe it when we were walking out of the studio that was it. So I love it. And you hit moments that are really true and really good, and you get job satisfaction, and I love it. Yeah, I mean, retiring, I'm often asked about it. As far as I'm concerned, while they want me and while I can do it, I'll be there.
How strange is it acting with your son who's acting to be your son?
Yes, very. It was very, and at the same time as well, because Sod's Law prevailed. He just had the two jobs at the same time, playing my grandson in Coronation Street and at the same time playing me in The Road to Coronation Street. And fortunately, it was in the same studio. We just had to literally flip from one part of the studio to the next, put a wig on and play me. And it was quite bizarre, playing my grandson in the street and then playing me in The Road to Coronation Street. But this year's a bit like that.
You're not one of those characters in this that you're just filler. You're not one of the people that are there just to be seen every few weeks. I mean, they work you hard. They could make your life a lot easier, really, couldn't they?
Well, yes, but I've got this wonderfully dysfunctional family, haven't I? I mean, my daughter in prison for murder, my son's an alcoholic and a bigamist, and when Blanche was arrived, of course, every bad situation was made twice as bad with Blanche stirring it with a few well-chosen words. And Ken and Deirdre are a bit dodgy, of course, as was shown with nearly going off with Martha on the barge. But I love it all, and it makes for strong stories, and while the stories are there, it's really exciting to play. Yes, you're right, it's not just sort of background stuff, but we tend to have, when we get our stories, they tend to be really meaty and strong and good, and Tracy's coming back, of course, so it's all going to be really good.
Are there scenes that you watch back, I don't know, a year, 2, 10, 20, 30 years later that you just absolutely can't remember filming?
Oh, absolutely. Frequently. In fact, the Variety Club very kindly did a dinner in my honour a couple of weeks ago at the Reebok Stadium in Bolton, which was very nice of them, and it was a good evening. But through the meal, they were playing old clips. Now, there are certain clips that are memorable storylines that are repeated that I remember, but I was looking at it, I thought, I do not even remember doing that. I mean, I couldn't remember the person I was acting with or anything. So it was quite amazing to see some of them. Yeah, I mean, when you think 50 years, pretty well on most of the time, there's bound to be a lot that you forget.
All right, we're going to come back next with William Roache. He's the big star of Coronation Street and the man that everybody's trying to talk to this year. His new book's out now. And of course, we're celebrating 50 years of Coronation Street next. We're back with William Roache on your favourite local radio station. It's Alex Belfield here at Granada today, which has really been William Roache's home for the last 50 years. How has this changed? How has the street changed? I mean, it looks the same in terms of facade, but your work schedule certainly got busier.
Well, physically, this building we're in now, we used to rehearse in a rehearsal studio where they just put tape on the floor for the doors. They'd put a table and a chair then. And then we'd only go into the studio, which was down below here, on the Thursday and the Friday. But now, of course, we've been moved over to stage one, where we rehearse and all the sets and the actual street is over there. So geographically, we've had the move. From the point of view of the schedule, it's totally different. In those early days, we'd have a read-through on a Monday morning. We'd plot the episodes Monday afternoon, rehearse episode 1 Tuesday morning, episode 2 Tuesday afternoon, do them both Wednesday morning. Wednesday afternoon, we'd have a producer's run-through. That was the most nerve-wracking bit of the week. The producer, the writers, and a lot of other people would form a horseshoe in the rehearsal room where it didn't seem real, it didn't seem right, and we'd have to do a performance. And then Thursday there would be technical, purely technical, going through the whole 2 episodes just for the cameras. And then Friday, in the very beginning, we used to do the first one live, and then immediately afterwards record the Monday one. But that got knocked sideways after about 3 months through a strike. But we recorded in a way that couldn't be edited. So it was almost like doing it live, and it was pretty nerve-wracking. Now, you turn up only when you have a scene. If you don't have a scene being shot that day, you don't turn up. You turn up, you've got to know your scene absolutely thoroughly, backwards and forwards and all ways round. You're called onto the set. You do a quick word run to make sure that you know the words. The director then tells you where he wants you. They do a slow run for the boom and the camera. Then they do a run. But in that run, say you've got to cry or get angry. You don't cry or get angry. You just do the run quietly so everyone's got it right. And then you go for it. And quite often that's it. As I said earlier, in and out in 20 minutes at the most.
So the question I've got to ask you then, has the show kept its consistency and quality? Have you had to get better, or has the show lost something?
That's very interesting. Obviously, when you rehearse a lot, you polish. But also, in the polishing, sometimes that initial feeling that you got has gone. So I would say it's just as good as it was, but in a slightly different way. You often hit things now, like a temper or a crying, which you really cry. You have to do it. If you've got to cry, you cry. If you've got to lose your temper, you lose your temper. So you'll get the real thing. But then sometimes the 1 or 2 scenes you feel they could have been polished a bit. But on the whole, this system, I think you get what you see is for real, and it's good and more enjoyable. The only problem, the whole thing, is learning. I wish somehow they could remove learning, stick a capsule in your head or something at night and put the words in. The learning is the tough bit.
From time to time you get the odd star popping in. Some of them stay, some of them go. Does that bring an added frisson to the show? I mean, when the Peter Kays or the Stephanie Beachams come in, is that fun?
Oh, it's brilliant. No, it's lovely when these really good people come in. When we had June Whitfield, Nigel Havers, Ian McKellen, of course, was really wonderful. And Linus, my son, as well. It's really stimulating. You know, we go along and it's good, and we all know each other, and we get on very well together, and we work well together. But it's very stimulating when someone really new and brilliant in their particular field. June Whitfield was wonderful to watch her work. What a comedic actress, a great actress, but her comedy is just unbelievable. And I don't know what age she is, she's cracking on a bit, but she's as sharp as a button and as beautiful as ever. And it's been really good. And Nigel Havers, lovely guy. It's a real treat when these people come in.
And in terms of you enjoying the day, is it hard work? Is it fun? How do you make sure that this doesn't become like going to Tesco's?
It could never be like going to Tesco's. Every day is different. If you're on the first call, I have to get up at 6:30 in the morning, be ready to do the first scene. I've got to get in, get dressed, ready, made up and everything for 8 o'clock start, and you can be working till 7 at night. Some days you'll come in, you might have the first call, and then you finish. You could be free the rest of the day. Some weeks you just come in, you do 1 or 2 scenes, and that's your week's work. Other weeks you're in from 8 in the morning till 7 at night every day, and then you've got your learning at night. So there's no question of ever being a run-of-the-mill, or there's no such thing as a normal day. You've always got learning to be done. Got to be continually on your toes. So it's very stimulating.
And that's for walking down the street and hello Ken, Mr. Barlow, this, that, the other thing. Does that ever become tiresome, or have you learned to embrace it?
Well, I'm lucky. I think what is difficult is for people like an X Factor and those sort of things, where they have this tremendous fame, tremendous exposure, and a colossal, and then it's not followed. So 2-3 years later, people are saying, oh yeah, weren't you? Now that must be really hard to come to terms with. We had colossal initial success. In the 60s, Coronation Street hit the screen with tremendous impact, and we became the most popular show within about 6 weeks, and we've never been out of the top 10 since. So I had all that back there. It's nice when restaurants will get you in and people cash your checks, probably unwisely, but there we go. And, there are a lot of the perks. I've played golf with Gary Player, Nick Faldo, and a lot of people that you wouldn't have played with. I've had This Is Your Life, Through the Keyhole, and all these sort of things, and In the Psychiatrist's Chair, and all those sort of things, which are great. But after a while, you get through all that, and you settle back into a sort of normality, other than there's a quirk to my job, is that I'm recognised by everybody. That's all. The milkman's recognised on his milk round. I've just got a very big milk round. And that's all. And I just accept the fact that people know me. It doesn't mean I'm any better or any worse than anybody else or any different, but it's a quirk to my job is that everybody knows you. So housebreaking is not an option.
The last time I saw you in person was at the London Palladium. There was a Ken Dodd special. And we had a lovely night. And the roar from the audience when you walked out, I mean, people are genuinely excited to see you.
Well, I think that's lovely. I mean, the point about that is, I think, that you have grandparents today who were little children when I started. So they have grown up, got married, had their children, who have had their children, and they've all watched Coronation Street. So I'm like part of the family unit. I'm something that's consistent in an ever-changing world, and I've just been there, and they know me, and fortunately they like me, and that's lovely, and I'm thrilled to bits. Particularly the elderly people who live on their own, when I see their eyes light up when they see you. It is like an extended family, and I love everyone who watches. I'm delighted, and I'm very proud to be in the street. I love the street myself, and I'm just so pleased, and it gives so much enjoyment to people.
Do you have time to watch it back, or is it just too stressful?
I try to watch it because you never know what it's going to be like. For instance, we do it 2 months in advance, and what we're filming at the moment, which is the tram crash, we're doing little bits over a 6-week period through the night. I have no idea what that's going to look like when it's put together. The 6 weeks will probably be over in 10 minutes, but you don't know what it's going to look like. And a lot of scenes are like that, and you forget them. You're saying, did I forget them from way back? Often I've forgotten when I'm watching it. Now, I did that scene 2 months ago. I'd forgotten about that, but I do remember it when I see it. So yeah, it's very interesting.
All right, we're here today at Granada talking to William Roache. Top legend, William Roache, back next on your favourite local radio station. We're back on your favourite local radio station then with William Roache, one of my favourite people. And since we last met in person, you've had two great sadnesses in your life that we know about. One was your wife, and of course Blanche went as well, a tremendous actress. I want to talk firstly and ask you how you are, because it must have been very difficult coming in every day, especially bearing in mind some of the storylines which included death at a time when you were obviously grieving for your wife. How are you doing?
Yeah, thanks very much for that. And the response has been wonderful. The mail was extraordinary. A sack full of lovely people saying beautiful things, and it does help to know that there's that support. It'll be 2 years in February since Sarah died. It was a tremendous shock, because she was one of these very vital people, very bright, very lively. Everyone thought she lived to be 100. And she did everything. She bought my clothes, she did the shopping, she cleaned the house, she taxed the cars, she paid the bills, you name it, she did it, which left me free to do my work and write my books and things like that. So there was the shock, there was the tragic loss, there was having to support my children, James and Verity, who also supported me. We were very close, that was very good. And then there was the practicality of having to come to terms with all these new things that I had to do, going shopping and things like that. So yeah, just nearly, 18 months down the line or more, getting into that. Of course, Sarah's missed, she always will be. But we're getting into a way of life now that we're coping well. Everybody's been very supportive. The whole of Coronation Street are like an extended family. They were very kind. initially going back to work, it was right in the middle of the Stephanie Beecham story. She was lovely. Stephanie was very understanding and very helpful. I think the first week back was really difficult. Really, I felt I shouldn't be here and things like that. But after that, it became good. It became something that occupied me, kept me busy, and life goes on. I know Sarah's fine. I know where she's gone is a lovely place, and she's there, very active, getting on with things. So, I know she's okay. Verity and James, my children, are great. We went away. Christmas is a difficult time, and Linus, my eldest son, lives in New York. Last year we went to New York for Christmas, joined him. This year I've hired a house in Chichester, and he's coming over from New York, so we're all going to be together for Christmas again. So things are getting good now. Things are good.
And are you at that point now where you're kind of over the shock tragedy of it and you can now remember the good times?
Absolutely, you're absolutely right. That is the way. Grieving you're entitled to do for a while because you miss them. You must never grieve for the person who died. They've gone home. They've gone to a beautiful place. And we've done the grieving. That was really pretty severe, and the funeral and all that was tricky. Now, you're absolutely right. We're at the point where we've got big pictures of her around the house, say hello, chat to her, say we're doing fine, this is good. And I enjoy the memories of when she was here, and it's good. It's all very positive now.
When we last spoke here, sat on this couch, we were talking about your previous book, and I just want to ask you the same questions again now about your thoughts on spirituality and the afterlife, because of course something like the death of your wife could change your opinions. Are you still of the same frame of mind? Has anything changed?
No, absolutely. It endorsed what I think, without any question. I know she's very vibrant, and you carry on over there. It's far more active and vibrant than here, and that's the existence where we're eternal. We go on forever. There is no death. But we come back here to learn things, and then we go back there. And I know that she's great, and what happened absolutely endorsed all my understandings.
Do you have any anger as to why?
Yeah, good question, but no. There's a reason for everything. I know there's a reason for everything. Everything that happens is meant to be, and it's very hard to understand that. Very hard to understand that. Only when we get back into the spiritual realms and look back will we truly understand. But I know that Sarah went for a reason. She'd done her bit. She'd passed her exams, if you like. She was allowed to go home early. It's a good thing from her point of view. There was a reason why we were left on her. We've got to learn to stand on our own 2 feet, which we're doing. It's a positive thing. Oh no, there's no anger. Everything is meant to be.
It's always a great pleasure talking to you and meeting you and learning from greatness as well, as many do in this cast. I know you're much loved and turned to as well. I think for the kids it can be very difficult coming into a show like this and keeping up with the pace of it. After 50 years you still do it seamlessly. Thank you so much for the memories and the time, and also talking to us on the programme.
Well, listen, thank you. You're very kind, you're very complimentary, you're a very lovely person yourself, and I love talking to you, and hope to see you again soon.
Thank you, William Roache.
Well done, thank you.